Question 1. Benchmark analysis indicates that a procurement officer at Central Japan Railway is assigned to evaluate bids for a significant infrastructure project. The officer discovers that one of the bidding companies is owned by a close personal friend with whom they have a long-standing relationship. The officer is aware of the importance of maintaining impartiality and fairness in all Central Japan Railway's procurement activities. What is the most appropriate course of action for the procurement officer? Option A. Proceed with the evaluation as assigned, ensuring that the evaluation criteria are strictly adhered to and that the personal relationship has no bearing on the decision. Option B. Immediately disclose the personal relationship to the relevant department at Central Japan Railway and request guidance on how to proceed, potentially recusing themselves from the evaluation. Option C. Withdraw from the evaluation process without informing anyone to avoid any appearance of impropriety. Option D. Subtly steer the evaluation towards the friend's company, believing that their shared history warrants a degree of preferential treatment. The correct answer is B. Immediately disclose the personal relationship to the relevant department at Central Japan Railway and request guidance on how to proceed, potentially recusing themselves from the evaluation. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge because it requires an individual at Central Japan Railway to navigate a situation where a potential conflict of interest could arise, impacting the integrity of procurement processes and potentially leading to unfair advantages. Careful judgment is required to uphold the company's ethical standards and regulatory compliance. The correct approach involves proactively disclosing the personal relationship to the relevant department at Central Japan Railway, allowing for an objective assessment and implementation of appropriate safeguards. This upholds the principle of transparency and ensures that procurement decisions are made solely on merit, free from undue influence. This aligns with general principles of corporate governance and ethical conduct expected of employees in regulated industries, which would be implicitly understood within the context of a hiring assessment for a company like Central Japan Railway, emphasizing fairness and impartiality in business dealings. An incorrect approach would be to proceed with the evaluation without disclosure, as this creates a hidden conflict of interest. Failure to disclose violates the fundamental ethical obligation of honesty and integrity, and could lead to accusations of bias, or FAVORIT, Ethiopic letter 129D, Ethiopic letter 1290, Ethiopic letter 1275, undermining trust in Central Japan Railway's procurement processes. Another incorrect approach would be to subtly favor the acquaintance's bid, even without explicit instruction. This constitutes unethical behavior and a breach of fiduciary duty to Central Japan Railway, as it prioritizes personal connections over the company's best interests and fair competition. A further incorrect approach would be to withdraw from the evaluation process entirely without informing anyone, while seemingly avoiding direct conflict. This can disrupt the procurement process and may not be the most constructive solution if the individual possesses unique expertise crucial for the evaluation. The professional reasoning process should involve identifying potential conflicts, assessing their severity, and taking proactive, transparent steps to mitigate them, prioritizing the company's ethical and operational integrity. Question 2. Market research demonstrates that public perception of railway safety is a critical factor in passenger trust and ridership for companies like Central Japan Railway, JR Central. Imagine you are a JR Central employee observing a minor, but unusual, vibration from a specific section of track during a routine inspection. While the vibration is not causing immediate disruption, it is outside the normal operational parameters. How should you proceed? Option A. Continue the inspection, assuming the vibration is a minor anomaly that will resolve itself, and make a note to check it again on your next scheduled inspection. Option B. Inform a colleague about the vibration and ask them to keep an eye on it while you complete your current task, deferring a formal report until later. Option C. Attempt to investigate the cause of the vibration yourself by examining the track components in that area, without informing anyone else, to save time. Option D. Immediately report the observation and the specific location of the unusual vibration to your direct supervisor and the relevant maintenance department, following JR Central's established safety reporting procedures. Correct answer is D. Immediately report the observation and the specific location of the unusual vibration to your direct supervisor and the relevant maintenance department, following JR Central's established safety reporting procedures. Explanation: this scenario presents a professional challenge for a candidate applying to Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the critical nature of public safety and the company's commitment to operational integrity. JR Central, as a major railway operator, is subject to stringent safety regulations and ethical standards designed to protect passengers and maintain public trust. A candidate's response to a situation involving potential safety concerns must demonstrate an understanding of these responsibilities and a commitment to upholding them. Careful judgment is required to balance immediate operational needs with long-term safety and compliance. The correct approach involves prioritizing safety and adhering strictly to established reporting protocols. This demonstrates an understanding of JR Central's safety culture and regulatory obligations. Specifically, it aligns with the principles of railway safety management systems, which mandate the immediate reporting of any potential hazards or deviations from standard operating procedures to the appropriate authorities within the company. This proactive approach ensures that issues are addressed promptly, preventing potential accidents and maintaining the highest standards of service reliability. An incorrect approach that overlooks or downplays a potential safety issue demonstrates a lack of understanding of the paramount importance of safety in railway operations. This could lead to regulatory noncompliance, as railway authorities in Japan have strict guidelines regarding the reporting and mitigation of safety risks. Furthermore, such an approach would violate ethical principles of professional responsibility, as it prioritizes expediency or convenience over the well-being of passengers and the public. Another incorrect approach that involves attempting to resolve the issue independently without proper authorization or reporting could also lead to regulatory violations. JR Central's operational procedures are designed to ensure that all significant issues are handled by trained personnel through established channels. Unauthorized interventions could exacerbate the problem, create new risks, or interfere with official investigations, all of which are serious breaches of operational discipline and safety protocols. A professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a clear hierarchy of priorities, with safety and regulatory compliance at the forefront. Candidates should be trained to identify potential risks, understand the company's reporting structure, and act decisively and responsibly according to established procedures. This involves a commitment to transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement in safety practices. Question 3. The audit findings indicate a potential anomaly in the braking system of a specific train model operated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central. While the anomaly has not yet resulted in any reported incidents, the audit report suggests it could compromise braking efficiency under certain conditions. As a JR Central safety manager, what is the most appropriate immediate course of action? Option A. Defer any immediate action until a passenger complaint or incident related to the braking system is officially reported. Option B. Instruct maintenance crews to conduct a superficial check of the braking system on affected trains and document the findings. Option C. Immediately ground all trains of that specific model for a comprehensive inspection and investigation before further operation. Option D. Continue normal operations for that train model, while initiating an internal review to assess the severity of the anomaly. The correct answer is C. Immediately ground all trains of that specific model for a comprehensive inspection and investigation before further operation. Explanation: this scenario presents a professional challenge for Central Japan Railway, JR Central employees due to the potential conflict between operational efficiency and adherence to safety regulations. The need for careful judgment arises from balancing the immediate demands of service delivery with the long-term imperative of maintaining the highest safety standards, which are paramount in the railway industry. JR Central operates under a strict regulatory environment governed by the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, (MLIT), and the Railway Business Act of Japan, which mandate rigorous safety protocols. The correct approach involves prioritizing the immediate cessation of operations and thorough investigation, as dictated by the identified safety concern. This aligns with the fundamental principle of safety first, enshrined in Japanese railway regulations, and JR Central's internal safety management system. The Railway Business Act, specifically Article 12, emphasizes the responsibility of railway operators to ensure the safety of passengers and the public. Any deviation from established safety procedures, especially when an audit identifies a potential risk, necessitates immediate corrective action. This proactive stance is crucial for preventing accidents and maintaining public trust. An incorrect approach would be to proceed with operations while initiating a review, as this disregards the immediate potential for harm. This violates the principle of safety first and could lead to severe consequences, including accidents, injuries, and significant reputational damage for JR Central. Such an action would also contravene MLIT guidelines that require prompt reporting and resolution of safety issues. Another incorrect approach would be to downplay the audit findings and attribute them to minor technical glitches without a formal investigation. This demonstrates a lack of due diligence and a failure to uphold the professional responsibility to ensure operational safety. It ignores the potential for systemic issues that the audit may have uncovered and could lead to a recurrence of the problem or the emergence of new, more serious safety lapses. A further incorrect approach would be to delay the investigation to avoid operational disruptions. While minimizing service interruptions is a business objective, it must never supersede safety. This approach prioritizes short-term convenience over long-term safety and regulatory compliance, which is a fundamental ethical and professional failing in the railway sector. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a clear hierarchy of priorities, with safety at the absolute apex. When a potential safety issue is identified, the immediate steps should be: 1. Halt operations if the risk is immediate and significant. 2. Initiate a formal, thorough investigation involving relevant safety personnel. 3. Report the findings and proposed corrective actions to the appropriate internal departments, and if necessary, to regulatory bodies like MLIT. 4. Implement corrective actions and verify their effectiveness before resuming normal operations. This structured approach ensures that safety concerns are addressed systematically and effectively, upholding both regulatory requirements and ethical obligations. Question 4. Market research demonstrates that a new high-speed rail competitor is planning to enter a key operational corridor currently dominated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central. To inform JR Central's strategic response, an employee is tasked with understanding the competitor's planned service frequency and pricing structure. The employee has an opportunity to attend an industry conference where a representative from the competitor company will be present. What is the most appropriate and compliant course of action for the JR Central employee? Option A. Discreetly approach the competitor's representative at the conference and inquire directly about their planned service frequency and pricing, framing the request as a general industry curiosity. Option B. Focus solely on analyzing publicly available information such as press releases, official company websites, and published financial reports of the competitor, and consult JR Central's internal market analysis team for their insights. Option C. Engage in conversations with other industry attendees at the conference, hoping to overhear or gather speculative information about the competitor's plans from casual discussions. Option D. Attempt to obtain the competitor's internal business plan, documents through informal contacts, or by observing unattended documents at the conference venue. The correct answer is A. Discreetly approach the competitor's representative at the conference and inquire directly about their planned service frequency and pricing, framing the request as a general industry curiosity. Explanation: this scenario presents a professional challenge for an employee of Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the inherent conflict between seeking competitive market intelligence and the ethical and regulatory obligations to maintain fair competition and avoid insider trading or misuse of confidential information. JR Central, as a major railway operator, operates within a highly regulated environment in Japan, where strict guidelines govern business practices, information handling, and competitive conduct. The challenge lies in balancing the need to understand the market landscape, to inform strategic decisions with the imperative to act with integrity, and in compliance with all applicable laws and JR Central's internal policies. The correct approach involves a structured and compliant method of gathering market information. This entails utilizing publicly available data, engaging in legitimate industry discussions through official channels, and adhering strictly to JR Central's internal guidelines on information acquisition and confidentiality. This approach is ethically sound and legally compliant because it respects the boundaries of fair competition, prevents the acquisition of non-public information that could be misused, and upholds the trust placed in JR Central employees. Specifically, it aligns with Japanese regulations concerning fair trade practices and corporate governance, which emphasize transparency and ethical conduct in business dealings. An incorrect approach would be to directly solicit non-public information from a competitor's employee. This is a significant regulatory and ethical failure. It could lead to accusations of industrial espionage, breach of confidentiality agreements, and violation of fair competition laws in Japan. Such actions undermine the integrity of the market and could result in severe legal penalties for both the individual and JR Central. Another incorrect approach would be to use information obtained through informal, unauthorized channels without verifying its legitimacy or public availability. This risks acting on inaccurate or privileged information, leading to flawed business decisions and potential legal repercussions for misrepresentation or insider dealing. Finally, an approach that involves speculative analysis based on rumors or unconfirmed reports, without proper due diligence or adherence to internal reporting protocols, is also professionally unsound. It can lead to strategic missteps and damage JR Central's reputation if acted upon without substantiation. Professionals in such situations should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes ethical conduct and regulatory compliance. This involves first identifying the objective of information gathering, then assessing the potential risks and ethical implications of various methods. The framework should always lean towards methods that are transparent, legal, and publicly verifiable. If there is any doubt about the appropriateness or legality of a particular information gathering method, seeking guidance from JR Central's legal or compliance department is paramount. This ensures that all actions are aligned with both external regulations and internal company policies, safeguarding the individual and the organization. Question 5. Market research demonstrates that a promising startup has developed a novel sensor technology that could significantly enhance the safety monitoring systems on Central Japan Railway, JR Central trains. An employee within JR Central's engineering department learns about this technology through a personal acquaintance who is a co-founder of the startup. The employee believes this technology could be highly beneficial for JR Central, but is unsure about the appropriate next steps for exploring this potential collaboration, given the company's strict ethical guidelines and the need to avoid any perception of conflict of interest. Option A. Advise the startup to seek out other potential clients and not pursue a partnership with JR Central due to the perceived complexity of navigating corporate policies. Option B. Formally document the potential benefit of the technology and submit a proposal through the established internal channels for review and approval, ensuring any subsequent engagement is conducted transparently and at arm's length. Option C. Share JR Central's current safety monitoring system specifications with the startup to help them tailor their technology for JR Central's specific needs. Option D. Directly contact the startup co-founder and arrange a private meeting to discuss the technology's capabilities and potential integration, without informing their supervisor or the relevant department. The correct answer is B. Formally document the potential benefit of the technology and submit a proposal through the established internal channels for review and approval, ensuring any subsequent engagement is conducted transparently and at arm's length. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employee due to the inherent conflict between potential business opportunities and the strict ethical guidelines governing public service and corporate conduct in Japan. The need to balance fostering innovation with maintaining integrity and avoiding any perception of impropriety is paramount. Careful judgment is required to navigate the delicate line between proactive engagement and potential ethical breaches. The correct approach involves a structured and transparent process that prioritizes adherence to JR Central's internal policies and relevant Japanese regulations concerning business ethics and conflicts of interest. This approach ensures that any proposed collaboration is vetted thoroughly, potential risks are identified and mitigated, and all actions are conducted with the highest degree of integrity. Specifically, it involves formally documenting the proposal, seeking internal approval through established channels, and ensuring that any engagement with the startup is conducted at arm's length, without preferential treatment or the misuse of JR Central's resources or proprietary information. This aligns with the principles of good corporate governance and the ethical obligations expected of employees in a publicly significant organization like JR Central, preventing any appearance of undue influence or personal gain. An incorrect approach that involves directly engaging with the startup to explore the technology without formal notification or approval would be professionally unacceptable. This bypasses established internal procedures designed to safeguard the company's interests and uphold ethical standards. It creates a significant risk of conflicts of interest, as the employee might be perceived as using their position to benefit a private entity, potentially leading to accusations of favoritism or the misuse of confidential information. Such an action would violate JR Central's Code of Conduct and potentially Japanese laws related to corporate ethics and public service. Another incorrect approach, which is to dismiss the opportunity outright without any investigation, would also be professionally suboptimal. While it avoids ethical risks, it stifles potential innovation and could lead to JR Central missing out on valuable technological advancements that could improve its services or operational efficiency. A responsible professional should explore opportunities within ethical boundaries, rather than defaulting to inaction. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a clear understanding of JR Central's ethical guidelines and relevant Japanese laws. When presented with a potential opportunity that involves external parties, an employee should first assess if it falls within their scope of duties and if there are any potential conflicts of interest. If there are, or if the situation is unclear, the next step should always be to consult with their supervisor or the designated ethics/compliance department. This ensures that any exploration or engagement is conducted transparently, with proper oversight, and in full compliance with all applicable regulations and company policies, thereby protecting both the individual employee and JR Central. Question 6. Market research demonstrates a significant unmet demand for a specific type of integrated travel service that could be offered in conjunction with Central Japan Railway, JR Central's existing network. An employee has compiled this research and is considering how to best leverage this information for the benefit of JR Central, while also considering potential future business development opportunities. Which of the following actions best reflects a responsible and compliant approach for an employee of Central Japan Railway? Option A. Submit the market research findings and a proposal for internal review and discussion with JR Central's relevant departments, such as business development and legal/compliance, to determine the best course of action. Option B. Immediately present the market research findings and a proposed business plan to potential external partners to explore collaboration. Option C. Share the market research findings with a select group of colleagues in a different department to gauge their interest in a joint venture outside of official company channels. Option D. Proceed with developing a personal side project based on the market research, assuming the information is not strictly confidential and could lead to personal entrepreneurial opportunities. The correct answer is B. Immediately present the market research findings and a proposed business plan to potential external partners to explore collaboration. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for an employee of Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the inherent conflict between pursuing business opportunities and adhering to the company's ethical guidelines and potentially relevant Japanese regulations concerning fair competition and business conduct. JR Central, as a major public service provider, operates under a strong mandate of public trust and is subject to oversight that emphasizes integrity and fairness. The challenge lies in balancing the desire to leverage market insights for potential partnerships or service enhancements with the imperative to avoid any actions that could be perceived as insider trading, unfair advantage, or a breach of confidentiality, even if not explicitly illegal. Careful judgment is required to ensure that any proposed actions are transparent, ethical, and fully compliant with JR Central's internal policies and any applicable external regulations governing business practices in Japan. The correct approach involves a thorough internal review and consultation process. This means proactively engaging with JR Central's legal and compliance departments to discuss the findings of the market research and to seek guidance on how to proceed ethically and legally. This approach is correct because it prioritizes transparency, adherence to corporate governance, and compliance with all relevant Japanese laws and JR Central's internal code of conduct. It ensures that any potential business development is conducted in a manner that upholds the company's reputation and avoids any appearance of impropriety. This aligns with the principles of good corporate citizenship and the regulatory expectation for companies to operate with integrity. An incorrect approach of directly approaching potential partners with the market research findings without internal consultation is professionally unacceptable. This could be construed as a breach of confidentiality if the research contains proprietary information or if it is used to gain an unfair advantage in negotiations. It bypasses established internal controls designed to protect the company and its stakeholders. Another incorrect approach of withholding the market research from relevant departments, hoping to exploit it for personal or departmental gain, represents a serious ethical failure and a potential violation of fiduciary duties owed to JR Central. This behavior undermines trust and can lead to significant legal and reputational damage. Finally, an approach that involves making assumptions about the legality or ethicality of using the research without seeking expert advice from JR Central's legal and compliance teams is also flawed. Professional responsibility demands seeking clarification and ensuring full compliance before acting on sensitive information. Professionals should adopt a decision-making framework that begins with identifying potential conflicts of interest or ethical dilemmas. This is followed by consulting relevant company policies, codes of conduct, and seeking advice from designated internal experts, e.g., legal, compliance, HR. Transparency and documentation of the decision-making process are crucial. If there is any doubt, the default action should be to err on the side of caution and seek further guidance. Question 7. Upon reviewing the operational procedures for a new track maintenance project at Central Japan Railway, JR Central, you observe a colleague with whom you have a friendly working relationship deviating from a critical safety protocol. This deviation, while seemingly minor at the moment, could potentially compromise the integrity of the track over time. You are aware that JR Central places the highest emphasis on safety and adheres strictly to the Railway Business Act. How should you proceed? Option A. Decide not to report the deviation, assuming it is a one-time oversight and your colleague is generally competent and unlikely to cause harm. Option B. Speak to your colleague privately, express your concern, and suggest they correct their approach without involving management. Option C. Document the observation internally for your own records, but refrain from reporting it to avoid potential interpersonal conflict or negative repercussions for your colleague. Option D. Directly report the observed safety protocol deviation to your immediate supervisor or the designated safety officer, providing specific details of the observation. Correct answer is D. Directly report the observed safety protocol deviation to your immediate supervisor or the designated safety officer, providing specific details of the observation. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a candidate applying to Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the critical nature of safety regulations and the potential for conflicts of interest. JR Central operates under stringent safety standards mandated by Japanese law, particularly the Railway Business Act and related ordinances, which prioritize public safety above all else. A candidate's understanding and adherence to these principles are paramount. The challenge lies in balancing personal relationships with professional integrity and the absolute requirement to report safety concerns without fear of reprisal or bias. The correct approach involves a direct and transparent reporting of the observed safety concern to the appropriate internal channels within JR Central, as per company policy and regulatory expectations. This demonstrates a commitment to safety, professional integrity, and adherence to the railway business, acts implicit and explicit requirements for maintaining safe operations. Reporting ensures that potential hazards are addressed promptly by those with the authority and responsibility to do so, thereby upholding JR Central's commitment to public safety and its regulatory obligations. An incorrect approach of ignoring the issue due to a personal relationship with the colleague would be a severe ethical and regulatory failure. It directly contravenes the principle of prioritizing safety and could lead to a serious accident, resulting in legal repercussions for the individual and JR Central and a breach of public trust. Another incorrect approach of downplaying the concern or suggesting the colleague handle it informally without official reporting is also problematic. While it attempts to mitigate interpersonal conflict, it bypasses established safety protocols and removes the issue from official oversight, potentially leaving it unaddressed or inadequately resolved. This undermines the systematic approach to safety management required by regulations. Professionals in this situation should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes safety and ethical conduct. This involves 1. Identifying the potential risk and its severity. 2. Recalling and applying relevant company policies and regulatory requirements concerning safety reporting. 3. Choosing the reporting channel that ensures the concern is formally documented and investigated. 4. Acting with integrity, even when it involves personal relationships, understanding that the collective safety of passengers and the public is the ultimate responsibility. Question 8. Market research demonstrates a growing demand for advanced railway infrastructure solutions in Southeast Asia, presenting a significant opportunity for Central Japan Railway, JR Central, to expand its international business. A key potential partner in this region has expressed interest in collaborating on a major project. During preliminary discussions, a representative from the partner company subtly hinted that their decision-making process is heavily influenced by personal relationships and the provision of facilitating information that could give a competitive edge. As a JR Central employee responsible for exploring this opportunity, what is the most appropriate course of action to ensure ethical and compliant engagement? Option A. Proactively share detailed, non-public information about JR Central's upcoming technological advancements and strategic bidding approaches for similar projects, framing it as a demonstration of commitment and partnership potential. Option B. Offer to arrange a private, informal meeting with senior JR Central executives and key decision-makers from the partner company, including a generous personal gift for the lead negotiator as a gesture of goodwill. Option C. Focus solely on the technical specifications of JR Central's offerings and avoid any discussion of business development strategy or partnership terms until a formal request for proposal (RFP) is issued. Option D. Politely decline any requests for information that could be construed as providing an unfair advantage and reiterate JR Central's commitment to a transparent and merit-based selection process while seeking to understand their standard procurement procedures. The correct answer is A. Proactively share detailed, non-public information about JR Central's upcoming technological advancements and strategic bidding approaches for similar projects, framing it as a demonstration of commitment and partnership potential. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employee due to the inherent conflict between business development goals and the strict ethical and regulatory obligations governing public service and corporate conduct in Japan. JR Central, as a major public transportation provider, operates under a framework that prioritizes safety, public trust, and fair competition. The pressure to secure new contracts, while a legitimate business objective, must be balanced against regulations that prevent undue influence, unfair advantages, and potential conflicts of interest. Careful judgment is required to navigate these competing demands, ensuring that all actions align with JR Central's code of conduct and relevant Japanese laws. The correct approach involves a transparent and ethical engagement process that strictly adheres to JR Central's internal policies and relevant Japanese regulations concerning business dealings and public procurement. This approach prioritizes building relationships based on merit and value, rather than leveraging personal connections or offering preferential treatment. Specifically, it involves understanding and complying with the principles of fair competition, avoiding any actions that could be construed as bribery or corruption, and ensuring that all interactions are documented and justifiable. This aligns with the ethical imperative to maintain public trust and uphold the integrity of JR Central's operations, as well as the legal requirements for transparent business practices. An incorrect approach that involves offering exclusive, non-public information to a potential partner to secure a contract would be a severe regulatory and ethical failure. This action could be interpreted as an attempt to gain an unfair advantage, potentially violating anti-monopoly laws or regulations governing fair competition in procurement. It undermines the principle of a level playing field for all potential partners and erodes public confidence in JR Central's fairness. Furthermore, such an action could be seen as a form of preferential treatment or even a precursor to bribery, depending on the specifics and intent, leading to significant legal repercussions and reputational damage for both the employee and JR Central. Another incorrect approach, such as providing undisclosed financial incentives or personal benefits to key decision-makers within the potential partner company, would constitute a clear violation of anti-bribery and corruption laws in Japan. This directly contravenes the ethical obligation to conduct business with integrity and transparency. Such actions create a conflict of interest, compromise objective decision-making, and can lead to severe legal penalties, including imprisonment and substantial fines, as well as the termination of employment and irreparable damage to JR Central's reputation. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a clear understanding of JR Central's code of conduct and relevant Japanese laws. When faced with a situation where business objectives might conflict with ethical or legal boundaries, an employee should first identify the potential risks and ethical considerations. This involves consulting internal guidelines, seeking advice from legal or compliance departments, and prioritizing transparency and fairness in all dealings. If there is any doubt about the appropriateness of an action, the safest and most ethical course is to refrain from it and seek guidance. The ultimate goal is to ensure that all business activities are conducted with the highest standards of integrity, upholding the reputation and public trust placed in JR Central. Question 9. Operational review demonstrates that a critical signaling component on a high-speed Shinkansen line operated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central, is exhibiting intermittent, minor fluctuations in its performance readings. While these fluctuations are currently within the acceptable tolerance limits defined by the manufacturer, they are outside the ideal operational parameters and have occurred 3 times in the past week during off-peak hours. A junior signaling technician, concerned about the potential for future failure, believes the component should be immediately flagged for replacement to prevent any disruption to the highly reliable Shinkansen service. The station manager, under pressure to maintain punctuality, suggests monitoring the component for another month to avoid unnecessary maintenance costs and potential service delays. Which of the following approaches best aligns with the operational and safety framework expected of Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employees? Option A. Attempt to recalibrate the component in the field without formal reporting, based on the technician's understanding of similar past issues, to restore it to ideal parameters. Option B. Inform the station manager that the component is functioning within acceptable limits and that further action is not warranted at this time, deferring to their judgment on operational priorities. Option C. Immediately escalate the issue to the JR Central Signaling Maintenance Department for a thorough inspection and potential proactive replacement, documenting the observed fluctuations and the technician's concerns. Option D. Continue to monitor the component as suggested by the station manager, relying on the current readings being within acceptable tolerance limits, and only report if the fluctuations exceed these limits. The correct answer is C. Immediately escalate the issue to the JR Central Signaling Maintenance Department for a thorough inspection and potential proactive replacement, documenting the observed fluctuations and the technician's concerns. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for Central Japan Railway, JR Central employees due to the inherent conflict between operational efficiency and the strict adherence to safety regulations. The need to maintain punctuality and service reliability, a hallmark of Japanese railway operations, must be balanced against the absolute priority of passenger and operational safety. Misjudging this balance can lead to severe consequences, including accidents, reputational damage, and regulatory penalties. Careful judgment is required to identify situations where deviations from standard procedures, even for perceived efficiency gains, could compromise safety protocols. The correct approach involves a proactive and transparent reporting of the identified anomaly to the relevant safety oversight body within JR Central, even if it means a minor delay. This aligns with the fundamental principles of railway safety management, which prioritize the identification and mitigation of potential hazards. Specifically, this approach adheres to the spirit and letter of internal JR Central safety directives and potentially broader Japanese railway safety regulations that mandate reporting of any operational irregularities that could impact safety. The ethical imperative to protect passengers and staff overrides the immediate operational inconvenience. An incorrect approach that prioritizes immediate operational continuity over safety reporting would be professionally unacceptable. This failure stems from a disregard for established safety protocols, potentially violating internal JR Central safety manuals and national railway safety laws. Such an approach creates an unacceptable risk of escalating the anomaly into a serious incident. Another incorrect approach, which involves attempting to fix the issue without proper authorization or reporting, also constitutes a significant regulatory and ethical failure. This bypasses established procedures for incident management and risk assessment, potentially exacerbating the problem or masking a more systemic issue. Professionals should employ a decision-making framework that begins with a clear understanding of the potential safety implications of any operational deviation. This involves consulting relevant safety regulations and internal company policies. If a potential safety risk is identified, the immediate priority is to report it through the designated channels, regardless of perceived operational impact. This reporting should be factual and comprehensive, allowing for a proper assessment and resolution by the appropriate safety authorities. The decision-making process should always err on the side of caution when safety is concerned. Question 10. Examination of the data shows that a JR Central train conductor, while performing a routine pre-departure check at Tokyo Station, notices a slight, intermittent rattling sound emanating from a specific carriage's undercarriage. The sound is not loud and does not appear to be causing any immediate operational issues, and the train is scheduled to depart in 5 minutes, with a full complement of passengers. The conductor is aware that delaying the train could cause significant disruption to the JR Central network and passenger schedules. What is the most appropriate course of action for the conductor? Option A. Proceed with the departure as scheduled, making a note of the sound in the logbook for later inspection. Option B. Attempt a quick visual inspection of the undercarriage himself to determine the source of the sound before deciding whether to report it. Option C. Inform the passengers via the public address system about the potential minor issue and ask for their patience while he investigates further. Option D. Immediately halt the departure. Report the sound to the station master and maintenance personnel for immediate investigation, even if it causes a significant delay. The correct answer is A. Proceed with the departure as scheduled, making a note of the sound in the logbook for later inspection. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway (JR Central) employee due to the potential conflict between operational efficiency and the strict adherence to safety regulations. JR Central, as a major railway operator, is bound by the stringent safety standards and operational guidelines set forth by Japanese railway law and the company's internal policies. The challenge lies in balancing the immediate need to maintain train schedules, which directly impacts passenger service and revenue, against the paramount importance of ensuring the safety of passengers and infrastructure. A decision made under pressure to prioritize schedule adherence over a potential safety concern could have severe consequences, including accidents, loss of public trust, and significant legal and financial repercussions for JR Central. Careful judgment, informed by a thorough understanding of regulatory frameworks and ethical responsibilities, is therefore critical. The correct approach involves immediately reporting the observed anomaly according to established JR Central protocols for safety concerns, even if it means a temporary disruption to the schedule. This aligns with the fundamental principle of safety first that underpins all railway operations in Japan. Specifically, this approach adheres to the Railway Business Act, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, and related ordinances, which mandate that railway operators take all necessary measures to prevent accidents and ensure passenger safety. JR Central's internal safety management system, which would detail reporting procedures for unusual findings, must be followed. This proactive reporting allows for proper assessment by qualified personnel, preventing potential escalation of a minor issue into a major safety hazard. It demonstrates professional integrity and a commitment to the highest safety standards, which is a core expectation for all JR Central employees. An incorrect approach would be to dismiss the observation as minor and proceed without reporting, prioritizing the train schedule. This fails to acknowledge the inherent risks in railway operations, where even seemingly small issues can have cascading effects. Ethically and regulatorily, this is unacceptable as it violates the duty of care owed to passengers and the public. Another incorrect approach would be to report the issue, but without providing sufficient detail or urgency, or to attempt to fix the issue independently without proper authorization or expertise. This could lead to misdiagnosis of the problem or the implementation of inadequate solutions, still posing a risk. Such actions would contravene JR Central's safety management system and potentially violate provisions of the Railway Business Act that require prompt and accurate reporting of safety-related matters. The professional decision-making process in such situations should involve a clear hierarchy of priorities: safety above all else, followed by regulatory compliance, and then operational efficiency. Employees should be trained to recognize potential safety issues, understand the reporting channels, and feel empowered to raise concerns without fear of reprisal. When faced with uncertainty, the default action should always be to err on the side of caution and report the observation for expert evaluation. Question 11. Assessment of a candidate's ethical judgment and commitment to safety protocols when applying for a critical operational role at Central Japan Railway, JR Central. Considering a situation where the candidate is experiencing significant personal financial difficulties that could potentially create a perceived or actual conflict of interest. Option A. Withhold information about the personal financial difficulties, believing that it is a private matter and should not affect their professional application. Option B. Proactively and transparently disclose the personal financial difficulties to the Central Japan Railway recruitment team, seeking their guidance on how to best manage any potential concerns. Option C. Downplay the severity of the financial situation to the recruitment team, emphasizing their strong desire to work for Central Japan Railway and their ability to perform duties effectively. Option D. Seek advice from a financial advisor and only disclose the situation if directly asked about personal financial stability during the interview process. The correct answer is B. Proactively and transparently disclose the personal financial difficulties to the Central Japan Railway recruitment team, seeking their guidance on how to best manage any potential concerns. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a candidate applying to Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the critical nature of railway operations and the stringent ethical standards expected within such a vital public service. The core difficulty lies in balancing personal circumstances with the absolute priority of safety and operational integrity, which are paramount in the railway industry. A candidate's ability to demonstrate an understanding of these priorities and to act with integrity, even when faced with personal hardship, is crucial for JR Central. The correct approach involves a transparent and proactive disclosure of the potential conflict of interest to JR Central's recruitment team. This demonstrates a commitment to ethical conduct and an understanding of the company's zero-tolerance policy towards anything that could compromise safety or operational efficiency. By informing the company, the candidate allows JR Central to make an informed decision regarding their suitability for the role, upholding the principle of integrity and prioritizing the company's operational needs and public trust. This aligns with the implicit ethical framework governing employment in safety-critical industries, where honesty and transparency are non-negotiable. An incorrect approach of withholding information about the personal financial difficulties is professionally unacceptable. This failure constitutes a breach of trust and a potential ethical violation. By not disclosing, the candidate risks creating a situation where their personal financial pressures could unconsciously influence their professional judgment or actions, potentially leading to compromises in safety protocols or operational standards. This directly contravenes the expected integrity and accountability required of JR Central employees. Another incorrect approach of downplaying the severity of the financial situation to the recruitment team is also professionally flawed. While seemingly an attempt to appear capable, it misrepresents the reality of the situation and undermines the principle of honest communication. This can lead to a mismatch between the candidate's actual circumstances and the company's expectations, potentially resulting in future performance issues or ethical dilemmas that could have been avoided with upfront disclosure. The professional decision-making process for similar situations should involve a clear assessment of potential conflicts of interest, however minor they may seem. Candidates should prioritize honesty and transparency, especially when applying for roles in safety-critical industries. The framework involves 1. Identifying any personal circumstances that could potentially impact professional duties or create a conflict of interest. 2. Evaluating the severity and likelihood of such an impact. 3. Proactively and truthfully disclosing these circumstances to the prospective employer, allowing them to assess the situation and make an informed decision. This approach safeguards both the individual's integrity and the employer's operational integrity and public safety commitments. Question 12. Which approach would be most appropriate for a Central Japan Railway (JR Central) station manager to take when a signal malfunction is reported on a busy line during peak hours, potentially impacting train schedules? Option A. Immediately halt all train traffic on the affected line and initiate a full diagnostic inspection by qualified maintenance personnel before resuming service. Option B. Instruct train operators to proceed with caution through the affected section, relying on visual cues and verbal communication to manage potential conflicts. Option C. Inform the Regional Operations Center of the malfunction and await their directive on how to proceed, without making any immediate operational changes. Option D. Continue normal train operations while dispatching a single technician to assess the issue remotely, with instructions to report back if the problem escalates. The correct answer is A. Immediately halt all train traffic on the affected line and initiate a full diagnostic inspection by qualified maintenance personnel before resuming service. Explanation: this scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway (JR Central) employee due to the inherent conflict between operational efficiency and passenger safety, particularly when dealing with potential infrastructure issues. The need for swift decision-making must be balanced against adherence to stringent safety protocols and regulatory guidelines to prevent accidents and maintain public trust. Careful judgment is required to assess the severity of the reported issue and determine the appropriate course of action without compromising safety or causing undue disruption. The correct approach involves prioritizing immediate safety by initiating a thorough inspection, and if necessary, halting operations in the affected area, aligning with JR Central's commitment to safety as outlined in its internal operational manuals and the broader framework of Japanese railway safety regulations. This proactive stance ensures that any potential risks are identified and mitigated before they can lead to an incident. This aligns with the fundamental principle of safety first that underpins all railway operations, emphasizing the paramount importance of passenger and operational safety over immediate service delivery. An incorrect approach that focuses solely on minimizing service disruption without a comprehensive safety assessment would be professionally unacceptable. This failure would directly contravene the regulatory obligation to ensure the safe operation of trains and could lead to severe consequences, including accidents and significant reputational damage for JR Central. Another incorrect approach, which involves deferring the decision to a higher authority without taking any immediate precautionary measures, demonstrates a lack of initiative and responsibility in a critical situation, potentially delaying necessary safety actions and increasing risk. Finally, an approach that relies on anecdotal evidence or assumptions rather than a systematic inspection would be a clear violation of established safety procedures and a failure to exercise due diligence. Professionals in such situations should employ a decision-making framework that begins with immediate risk assessment, followed by adherence to established protocols for inspection and remediation. This framework emphasizes clear communication, documentation of all actions taken, and a commitment to the highest safety standards, even if it means temporary operational inconvenience. Question 13. Implementation of a new automated track inspection system by Central Japan Railway (JR Central) has identified a minor, intermittent signal anomaly near a busy junction. The system flags the anomaly but does not provide a definitive cause. A junior technician, concerned about potential delays to the evening rush hour, considers overriding the system's recommendation for a manual inspection by a senior engineer before the next train passes, believing they can quickly visually confirm the signal's integrity. Option A. Proceed with the manual inspection by a senior engineer as per the established protocol, even if it means a slight delay to the schedule. Option B. Attempt a quick visual confirmation of the signal yourself to ascertain if it's a false alarm before calling for a senior engineer. Option C. Immediately report the anomaly to the Operations Control Center and await their instructions, even if it means a significant delay. Option D. Temporarily disable the new automated track inspection system to avoid further alerts while you investigate the anomaly. The correct answer is A. Proceed with the manual inspection by a senior engineer as per the established protocol, even if it means a slight delay to the schedule. Explanation: this scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway (JR Central) employee because it involves balancing operational efficiency with adherence to the company's internal safety protocols and potentially broader railway safety regulations in Japan. The core tension lies between the immediate need to address a potential disruption and the imperative to follow established procedures that are designed to prevent accidents and ensure passenger safety. Careful judgment is required to assess the risk associated with deviating from standard procedures versus the risk of delaying critical operations. The correct approach involves prioritizing the immediate safety of passengers and the integrity of the railway infrastructure by following the established emergency response protocol for such a situation. This approach is right because it aligns with the fundamental principle of railway safety, which is paramount in Japan. JR Central, like all railway operators, is bound by strict safety regulations and internal policies that mandate specific procedures for handling unexpected events, such as equipment malfunctions or potential track obstructions. Adhering to these protocols ensures that all necessary checks are performed, potential hazards are mitigated, and the situation is managed in a controlled manner, thereby preventing further complications or accidents. This demonstrates a commitment to the highest safety standards expected of a major railway operator. An incorrect approach that involves attempting to resolve the issue without proper authorization or by bypassing established safety checks is professionally unacceptable. This failure stems from a disregard for regulatory compliance and internal company policy. Such actions could lead to unforeseen consequences, such as exacerbating the equipment malfunction, causing damage to the infrastructure, or, most critically, endangering passengers and other railway personnel. Another incorrect approach, such as delaying the report to higher authorities to avoid potential reprimand, is also ethically and regulatorily flawed. This delays the coordinated response and prevents experienced personnel from assessing and managing the situation effectively, potentially leading to a more severe outcome. Professionals in this situation should employ a decision-making framework that begins with immediate risk assessment, followed by strict adherence to established protocols. If a situation deviates from the norm, the first step is to consult the relevant safety manuals and emergency procedures. If there is any ambiguity, or if the situation presents a novel challenge, the next step is to escalate the issue to the designated supervisor or emergency response team immediately, providing a clear and concise report of the observed issue and the current status. This ensures that decisions are made with the benefit of collective expertise and within the bounds of regulatory and company guidelines. Question 14. Compliance review shows that a routine inspection of a newly installed signaling component on a Central Japan Railway Shinkansen line identified a minor deviation from the approved installation manual. The deviation, if left unaddressed, could theoretically impact signal responsiveness under extreme weather conditions, though the likelihood is assessed as very low by the technician performing the inspection. The technician is under pressure to complete the inspection report quickly to avoid delaying the next scheduled high-speed train. Which of the following actions best reflects Central Japan Railway's commitment to regulatory compliance and operational integrity? Option A. The technician informs their immediate supervisor verbally about the deviation and awaits further instructions, without formally logging the issue in the compliance system. Option B. The technician immediately reports the deviation through the established internal reporting system, initiating a review process that may cause a minor delay to the next train's departure. Option C. The technician notes the deviation, but decides to proceed with the report as compliant, assuming the low probability of an issue makes immediate action unnecessary and prioritizing train schedule adherence. Option D. The technician decides to make a minor adjustment to the component to align it with the manual, without formally documenting the deviation or the adjustment, to avoid any reporting or delay. The correct answer is B. The technician immediately reports the deviation through the established internal reporting system, initiating a review process that may cause a minor delay to the next train's departure. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge due to the potential conflict between operational efficiency and the strict adherence to Central Japan Railway's internal compliance guidelines, which are designed to uphold safety and public trust. The need to balance timely service delivery with the imperative of thorough due diligence requires careful judgment. The correct approach involves proactively identifying and reporting potential noncompliance, even when it might cause minor delays. This aligns with the fundamental ethical and regulatory obligation to prioritize safety and transparency. Central Japan Railway's internal policies, mirroring broader industry standards for public transportation, mandate that all operational procedures must strictly adhere to established safety protocols and reporting mechanisms. Failure to report a potential deviation, even if seemingly minor, can lead to a cascade of safety risks and a breach of public trust, which is a critical regulatory and ethical failure. An incorrect approach that prioritizes immediate operational expediency over reporting a potential compliance issue is professionally unacceptable. This demonstrates a disregard for established safety protocols and the company's commitment to regulatory adherence. Such an action could lead to significant safety hazards, regulatory penalties, and reputational damage for Central Japan Railway. Another incorrect approach, which is to assume the issue will resolve itself or is insignificant without proper verification, is also professionally unsound. This passive stance abdicates responsibility and can allow minor issues to escalate into major problems, fails to uphold the proactive compliance culture expected of all Central Japan Railway employees. The professional decision-making process in such situation should involve a clear understanding of the company's compliance framework. When faced with a potential deviation, the immediate steps should be to 1. Assess the potential impact on safety and operations. 2. Consult relevant internal policies and guidelines. 3. Report the issue through the designated channels, even if it means a temporary operational inconvenience. 4. Cooperate fully with any subsequent investigation or corrective actions. This systematic approach ensures that all potential risks are mitigated and that the company's commitment to safety and compliance is maintained. Question 15. During the evaluation of a candidate's application for a critical operational role at Central Japan Railway, JR Central, it is discovered that the candidate holds a significant personal investment in a publicly traded company that is a known supplier of specialized signaling equipment to the railway industry. This supplier is currently bidding on a substantial contract with JR Central. The candidate has not disclosed this investment in their application materials. What is the most appropriate course of action for the JR Central hiring team? Option A. Inform the candidate of the discovered investment and request they divest their shares before proceeding with the hiring process. Option B. Proceed with the hiring process, assuming the candidate's professional integrity will prevent any conflict of interest, and address any potential issues if they arise post-hire. Option C. Immediately disqualify the candidate due to the undisclosed potential conflict of interest, as transparency during the application phase is paramount. Option D. Acknowledge the investment but proceed with the hiring process, relying on the candidate's stated commitment to impartiality and the company's internal oversight mechanisms to manage any conflict. The correct answer is B. Proceed with the hiring process, assuming the candidate's professional integrity will prevent any conflict of interest and address any potential issues if they arise post-hire. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a candidate applying to Central Japan Railway, JR Central, due to the inherent conflict between personal financial interests and the duty of impartiality and transparency expected of employees in a highly regulated industry. JR Central, as a major railway operator, is subject to stringent regulations concerning fair competition, procurement processes, and the prevention of conflicts of interest. A candidate's personal investment in a company that is a potential supplier or competitor to JR Central creates a significant ethical and regulatory hurdle. The core of the challenge lies in identifying and managing potential conflicts of interest to maintain public trust and ensure fair business practices. The correct approach involves full disclosure of the personal investment to JR Central's hiring department and relevant compliance officers. This demonstrates an understanding of and commitment to JR Central's ethical standards and regulatory obligations. By proactively informing the company, the candidate allows JR Central to assess the situation, determine if a conflict exists, and implement appropriate mitigation strategies, which could include disqualifying the candidate from roles involving procurement or oversight of that specific supplier, or requiring divestment of the shares. This aligns with the principles of transparency and integrity fundamental to employment within regulated entities. An incorrect approach would be to conceal the investment. This failure to disclose is a direct violation of ethical conduct and potentially regulatory requirements concerning conflicts of interest. It undermines the trust placed in employees and creates a risk of actual or perceived bias in decision-making, which could lead to unfair procurement outcomes, reputational damage for JR Central, and legal repercussions. Another incorrect approach would be to assume the investment is insignificant and therefore not worth mentioning. This demonstrates a lack of understanding of the strictness of conflict of interest policies in such industries and a failure to exercise due diligence in assessing potential ethical pitfalls. Finally, attempting to resign from the investment only after being hired, without prior disclosure during the application process, is also an incorrect approach. While it might resolve the direct conflict, the failure to disclose during the hiring phase itself is a breach of honesty and transparency, which are paramount during the assessment process. Professionals in similar situations should adopt a proactive and transparent decision-making framework. This involves 1. Identifying potential conflicts of interest by thoroughly reviewing personal financial holdings against the company's business activities and regulatory environment. 2. Consulting relevant company policies and codes of conduct regarding conflicts of interest and disclosure requirements. 3. Disclosing any potential conflicts fully and honestly to the appropriate parties within the organization, even if the significance is uncertain. 4. Cooperating with the organization's assessment and mitigation of the conflict. This approach prioritizes integrity, compliance, and the long-term professional relationship. Question 16. Stakeholder feedback indicates that during a recent unexpected track maintenance issue impacting Shinkansen services, passengers experienced significant confusion and frustration due to a lack of clear and timely updates from Central Japan Railway, JR Central, regarding the estimated duration of the delay and alternative travel arrangements. Considering the operational complexities and the need to maintain public trust, which of the following approaches best reflects the expected professional conduct for JR Central personnel in managing such a situation? Option A. Focus on resolving the operational issue internally first, with passenger communication being a secondary priority once the situation is under control. Option B. Immediately provide passengers with the most accurate estimated delay time and alternative travel options, acknowledging any uncertainties and committing to providing further updates as the situation evolves. Option C. Withhold detailed information about the disruption until the exact cause and resolution timeline are fully determined to avoid providing potentially inaccurate information. Option D. Provide a general announcement about a delay without specifying the estimated duration or offering concrete alternative travel solutions to manage passenger expectations conservatively. The correct answer is B. Immediately provide passengers with the most accurate estimated delay time and alternative travel options, acknowledging any uncertainties and committing to providing further updates as the situation evolves. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employees due to the inherent tension between operational efficiency and the ethical imperative to provide accurate and timely information to the public, especially concerning service disruptions. JR Central operates within a highly regulated environment in Japan, where public trust and safety are paramount. Misinformation or delayed communication can have significant consequences, impacting passenger confidence, potentially leading to safety risks, and incurring reputational damage. The challenge lies in balancing the need for swift operational decisions with the responsibility to communicate clearly and truthfully. The correct approach involves prioritizing transparent and accurate communication to passengers regarding the extent and expected duration of the service disruption, even if initial estimates are uncertain. This aligns with general principles of corporate responsibility and customer service expected of major public transportation providers in Japan. While specific JR Central internal guidelines would dictate the precise communication protocols, the overarching ethical and regulatory expectation is to inform the public promptly and truthfully. This fosters trust and allows passengers to make informed decisions, mitigating potential negative impacts. An incorrect approach would be to withhold or downplay information about the disruption due to uncertainty about its resolution. This failure to communicate transparently erodes public trust and can lead to significant passenger inconvenience and frustration. It also potentially violates implicit or explicit regulatory expectations for public service providers to keep their customers informed during service interruptions. Another incorrect approach would be to provide overly optimistic or speculative timelines for resolution without a solid basis. This can lead to further disappointment and anger when those timelines are not met, exacerbating the negative impact of the disruption. It demonstrates a lack of professionalism and a disregard for the accuracy of information provided to the public. A third incorrect approach would be to focus solely on internal operational recovery without adequately considering the passenger communication aspect. While internal efficiency is important, neglecting external communication during a disruption is a failure of customer service and public responsibility, which are critical components of operating a public transportation network like JR Central. Professional decision-making process in such situations should involve a rapid assessment of the situation, consultation with relevant operational and communication teams, and a commitment to providing the most accurate information available at any given moment, with a clear plan for updating passengers as new information becomes available. This process prioritizes passenger welfare and maintains the integrity of JR Central's public service commitment. Question 17. Performance analysis shows that train operated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central, has experienced a minor, intermittent fluctuation in its braking system's pressure gauge readings during a routine operational segment. The fluctuation is not severe enough to trigger an immediate automatic safety alert, and the train continues to operate within acceptable parameters for speed and stopping distance, according to the onboard diagnostics. However, the train conductor is aware that such fluctuations, if left unaddressed, could potentially indicate a developing issue. What is the most appropriate course of action for the train conductor to take in this situation, strictly adhering to Central Japan Railway's operational guidelines and Japanese railway safety regulations? Option A. Inform the train control center of the observed braking system pressure fluctuation as soon as it is safe to do so, requesting guidance and further assessment. Option B. Immediately initiate a full diagnostic check of the braking system and attempt to resolve the fluctuation using onboard troubleshooting procedures before proceeding. Option C. Continue the journey as scheduled, monitoring the gauge closely, and report the fluctuation only if it escalates to a critical level or triggers an automatic alert. Option D. Make a note of the fluctuation in the daily logbook to be reviewed at the end of the shift, assuming it is a minor anomaly that does not require immediate attention. The correct answer is C. Continue the journey as scheduled, monitoring the gauge closely, and report the fluctuation only if it escalates to a critical level or triggers an automatic alert. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employee due to the inherent conflict between operational efficiency and adherence to safety regulations. JR Central, as a major railway operator, is bound by stringent safety standards and operational protocols designed to prevent accidents and ensure passenger well-being. The pressure to maintain punctuality, a key performance indicator for railway companies, can create a temptation to overlook minor deviations or to make judgment calls that might compromise safety. The employee must navigate this tension by prioritizing safety above all else, even if it means a temporary disruption to the schedule. The correct approach involves immediately reporting the observed anomaly to the designated supervisor or control center, regardless of its perceived severity. This aligns with JR Central's established safety management system and the overarching principles of railway safety regulations in Japan, which mandate a proactive and transparent reporting culture for any potential safety concern. This ensures that trained personnel can assess the situation objectively and implement appropriate corrective actions, thereby upholding the company's commitment to passenger safety and regulatory compliance. An incorrect approach of downplaying the anomaly and proceeding without reporting risks a cascade of negative consequences. Failure to report a potential safety issue directly violates the principles of a robust safety culture and could lead to a breach of JR Central's internal safety protocols and Japanese railway safety laws. Such an oversight could have severe repercussions, including potential accidents, passenger injury, significant operational disruption, and damage to JR Central's reputation. Another incorrect approach, that of attempting to self-diagnose and rectify the issue without proper authorization or expertise, is equally problematic. This bypasses established procedures, potentially exacerbates the problem, and demonstrates a lack of respect for the hierarchical safety reporting structure, which is critical for maintaining operational integrity and safety. Professionals in this situation should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes safety and regulatory compliance. This involves 1. Immediate identification of a potential safety deviation. 2. Strict adherence to established reporting protocols, escalating the issue to the appropriate authority without delay. 3. Avoiding personal judgment calls on safety matters that fall outside one's defined responsibilities or expertise. 4. Understanding that punctuality, while important, is secondary to the absolute imperative of safety. Question 18. Quality control measures reveal a minor discrepancy in the calibration of a sensor on a specific Shinkansen train set operated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central. While the discrepancy is within the acceptable tolerance range for immediate operation according to current internal guidelines, it falls just outside the ideal performance benchmark. The maintenance team leader is aware of this finding. What is the most appropriate course of action for the maintenance team leader to take? Option A. Ignore the finding as it is within the acceptable operational tolerance and does not pose an immediate safety risk. Option B. Document the finding, initiate a root cause analysis, and schedule the sensor for recalibration at the earliest opportunity while continuing normal operations. Option C. Inform a junior technician to adjust the sensor's reading to meet the ideal benchmark without further investigation or documentation. Option D. Immediately ground the Shinkansen train set until the sensor is recalibrated to the ideal benchmark, regardless of operational impact. The correct answer is B. Document the finding, initiate a root cause analysis, and schedule the sensor for recalibration at the earliest opportunity, while continuing normal operations. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for Central Japan Railway, JR Central employees due to the critical nature of safety regulations and the potential for reputational damage. The core of the challenge lies in balancing operational efficiency with unwavering adherence to safety standards, especially when faced with a situation that could be perceived as a minor deviation, but has significant implications for public trust and regulatory compliance. Careful judgment is required to ensure that all actions taken are not only compliant with JR Central's internal policies, but also with the overarching legal and regulatory framework governing railway operations in Japan. The correct approach involves a thorough, documented investigation into the root cause of the quality control finding, followed by immediate implementation of corrective actions and transparent reporting to relevant internal departments and, if necessary, external regulatory bodies. This approach aligns with the principles of proactive safety management and accountability mandated by Japanese railway law and JR Central's commitment to operational excellence. Specifically, it upholds the spirit of the Railway Business Act, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, and related safety ordinances, which emphasize the continuous improvement of safety management systems and the prevention of accidents. This methodical process ensures that potential risks are identified, mitigated, and that lessons learned are integrated into future operations, thereby safeguarding passengers and maintaining public confidence. An incorrect approach of downplaying the finding or attempting to resolve it informally without proper documentation and investigation would constitute a significant regulatory and ethical failure. Such actions could violate provisions of the Railway Business Act that require operators to maintain safe services and report incidents. Ethically, it demonstrates a lack of integrity and a disregard for the safety of passengers and the public. Another incorrect approach, that of immediately halting all operations without a clear understanding of the issue's severity or scope, could lead to unnecessary disruption and economic loss, and might not be proportionate to the identified problem, potentially indicating a failure to exercise sound professional judgment in risk assessment. Furthermore, failing to involve relevant safety personnel or management in the decision-making process would undermine the established safety hierarchy and communication protocols, risking a fragmented and ineffective response. Professionals in such situations should employ a decision-making framework that prioritizes safety, adheres to established procedures, and promotes transparency. This involves 1. Accurate identification and assessment of the issue based on objective data. 2. Consultation with relevant experts and supervisors. 3. Strict adherence to documented procedures for investigation and resolution. 4. Proactive communication with all stakeholders. 5. thorough documentation of all steps taken. This systematic approach ensures that decisions are informed, defensible, and aligned with both regulatory requirements and ethical obligations. Question 19. The performance metrics show that the Shinkansen line operated by Central Japan Railway, JR Central, has maintained an exceptional on-time performance rate of 99.8% over the last fiscal year. During a routine pre-departure inspection of a specific train set, a junior maintenance technician notices a minor, intermittent vibration in one of the bogie assemblies that is not flagged by the automated diagnostic system. The technician is aware that reporting this could lead to a delay in the train's departure, potentially impacting the on-time performance metric for that service. What is the most appropriate course of action for the technician? Option A. Attempt a quick, unauthorized adjustment to the bogie assembly to see if the vibration can be eliminated before the scheduled departure. Option B. Discuss the observation with the train conductor and collectively decide whether the vibration is significant enough to warrant a delay, bypassing formal maintenance channels. Option C. Log the observation in the maintenance log, but proceed with the train's departure as the automated system did not detect any critical fault, prioritizing the on-time performance metric. Option D. Immediately report the observed vibration to the maintenance supervisor and follow established protocols for further inspection and potential remediation, even if it means delaying the train's departure. The correct answer is D. Immediately report the observed vibration to the maintenance supervisor and follow established protocols for further inspection and potential remediation, even if it means delaying the train's departure. Explanation. This scenario presents a professional challenge for a Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employee due to the potential conflict between achieving operational efficiency and adhering to strict safety regulations. The core difficulty lies in balancing the immediate need to maintain train schedules, a key performance indicator, with the paramount importance of passenger safety and the integrity of the railway infrastructure. JR Central operates under a stringent regulatory environment overseen by the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, MLIT, which mandates rigorous inspection and maintenance protocols to prevent accidents. Any deviation from these protocols, even for perceived efficiency gains, carries significant ethical and legal ramifications, including potential harm to passengers and damage to the company's reputation and financial standing. The correct approach involves prioritizing the immediate reporting and addressing of the identified anomaly, even if it means a temporary disruption to the schedule. This aligns with the fundamental ethical duty of care owed to passengers and the public, as well as the legal obligations under Japanese railway safety laws. Specifically, the Railway Business Act and related MLIT ordinances emphasize proactive safety management and the immediate reporting of any potential hazards. By reporting the anomaly, the employee upholds the principle of safety first, which is a cornerstone of JR Central's operational philosophy and regulatory compliance. This approach ensures that potential risks are mitigated before they can escalate into serious incidents, thereby safeguarding lives and maintaining public trust. An incorrect approach would be to overlook or downplay the anomaly in an attempt to maintain the schedule. This action would represent a failure to adhere to the safety-first principle and a direct violation of the spirit, if not the letter, of railway safety regulations. Such a decision prioritizes a short-term performance metric over long-term safety and compliance, creating a significant ethical lapse. Another incorrect approach would be to attempt a superficial fix without proper authorization or adherence to established maintenance procedures. This bypasses the necessary checks and balances designed to ensure the effectiveness and safety of repairs, potentially masking a deeper issue and leading to future failures. This demonstrates a lack of professional integrity and a disregard for established protocols. The professional decision-making process in such situations should involve a clear hierarchy of priorities: safety above all else, followed by regulatory compliance, and then operational efficiency. When faced with a potential safety concern, the immediate step should be to halt operations if necessary and report the issue through the designated channels. This involves understanding the company's internal safety reporting procedures and the relevant external regulatory requirements. Professionals must be empowered and encouraged to raise safety concerns without fear of reprisal, fostering a culture of proactive risk management. Question 20. The risk matrix shows a high-priority risk related to track integrity during extreme weather events for Central Japan Railway, JR Central operations. Which of the following represents the most appropriate response for JR Central's safety management team? Option A. Conduct a thorough review of current track inspection protocols and maintenance schedules, and if necessary, develop enhanced monitoring procedures and supplementary preventative measures specifically for extreme weather conditions. Option B. Implement minor adjustments to track maintenance schedules, prioritizing operational continuity over a comprehensive reevaluation of potential vulnerabilities during extreme weather. Option C. Acknowledge the high priority rating, but continue with existing inspection and maintenance routines, assuming that historical data indicates a low probability of actual incidents. Option D. Immediately halt all operations in affected areas during any forecast of extreme weather, regardless of the specific risk assessment findings for track integrity. The correct answer is A. Conduct a thorough review of current track inspection protocols and maintenance schedules, and if necessary, develop enhanced monitoring procedures and supplementary preventative measures specifically for extreme weather conditions. Explanation. Scenario analysis. This scenario presents a challenge for Central Japan Railway, JR Central, employees in interpreting and applying risk assessment findings within the context of operational safety and regulatory compliance. The risk matrix, a standard tool, quantifies potential hazards, but translating these quantitative outputs into actionable, qualitative decisions requires careful judgment. The core challenge lies in balancing the identified risk levels with the practicalities of railway operations, ensuring that safety is paramount without causing undue disruption or inefficiency. The interconnectedness of safety protocols, operational demands, and regulatory mandates necessitates a nuanced approach to risk mitigation. Correct approach analysis. The correct approach involves a systematic review of the high-priority risks identified in the matrix, followed by a detailed assessment of existing mitigation measures and the development of supplementary controls where necessary. This aligns with the fundamental principles of railway safety management systems, which are heavily regulated in Japan. JR Central, as a major railway operator, is bound by the Railway Business Act and associated ordinances, which mandate proactive identification, assessment, and mitigation of risks to ensure public safety. This approach prioritizes the integrity of safety systems by not solely relying on the initial matrix, but by actively seeking to enhance safety through a layered defense strategy, reflecting a commitment to continuous improvement and adherence to the highest safety standards expected of a public transport provider. Incorrect approaches analysis. One incorrect approach is to dismiss high-priority risks solely because they have not historically resulted in incidents. This fails to acknowledge the predictive nature of risk assessment and ignores the potential for future failures, violating the proactive safety culture mandated by Japanese railway regulations. Another incorrect approach is to implement mitigation measures without a thorough understanding of their effectiveness or potential unintended consequences. This can lead to a false sense of security and may even introduce new risks, contravening the principle of due diligence required under safety management system guidelines. Finally, an approach that prioritizes operational convenience over identified safety risks, even if the risks are deemed manageable by us, is fundamentally flawed. Japanese railway law places an absolute premium on passenger and public safety, and any decision that compromises this for operational efficiency would be a severe regulatory and ethical breach. Professional reasoning. Professionals at JR Central should approach risk matrix findings by first understanding the inherent limitations of any assessment tool. The process should involve a multidisciplinary team to review high-priority risks, considering technical, operational, and human factors. The decision-making framework should prioritize the hierarchy of controls: elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and personal protective equipment, with a strong emphasis on engineering and administrative controls in a railway environment. Regular review and validation of mitigation measures are crucial. When faced with conflicting priorities, the guiding principle must always be the preservation of safety, supported by clear documentation of the rationale behind any decision, ensuring transparency and accountability in line with JR Central's commitment to safety and regulatory compliance.